Hello, and welcome to another evening of Dungeons and Dad Jokes. Um, we are excited, well, pseudo excited, for wrapping up this campaign tonight with where our characters are headed to next. I feel like
We as a relative term.
yeah, we being relative. Well, it is.
It's bittersweet.
But and so we're going to do some wrap up with our characters and give the players a chance to ask some questions. And if you would join us in the live chat, subscribe and join us in the live chat, you can also ask us some questions if you'd like. So feel free to go ahead and do that if you are watching. Some announcements. We are going to be in Chicago this weekend, starting on Thursday all the way through Sunday. We're going to be there the whole weekend. I'm going to run a game. Rhonda's going to run a game. And we'll have a table there. So if you're in Chicago or you're planning on going to the Chicago Steampunk Expo, is that it? Do they call it an expo or convention? I don't remember what they call it exactly. Um, stop by, say hi. If you'd like to go and you haven't gotten tickets or anything, check on our website, danddadjokes.com, and click on upcoming events. There will be a link for their website where you can go and purchase tickets and learn more information about what's happening all weekend long. So you can go to their website and check that out. After that, I don't know what's coming up. What's coming up in June? Do you have something coming up in June, Rhonda?
I do not believe so.
Wow.
There's a couple of things in July. I think it's going to be, I should probably check before I say, but there's one in Frankfurt and there's one in Hebron on the same weekend. I'll have to get them on there. But I think
Okay.
it's the Horror Fest and the Northern Kentucky Anime Fest is I think the two that are in July.
Both in July. Okay. And then I know in August, Tucson Comic Con will be happening here in Tucson. So you can check that out too. I'm hopefully going to run some games for them again this year. So just keep an eye out on our website for the things that are happening. This is the last one for the spring, so make sure you check the calendar.
If you're in Ohio, in November is a catacon.
Yeah.
And they're going to start rolling things out here.
Yeah. And we're getting together our early 2026 dates and stuff too. So keep an eye on our website so you know where we're going to be. And there'll also be links for you to go to their websites to purchase tickets and find out more information about what's happening over the weekend. Because we don't post all of that stuff. We only tell you what we're doing and then tell you go see what they're doing. Because there's no way I can pass on all of that information. So yeah, I think that's it for the announcements. Just as a heads up, tonight is going to be our last night for a couple of weeks because we're doing Chicago, we're traveling next week, and whatnot. So we're not going to be playing the game next week. And the week after that, we are not streaming. We will still be getting together, but we are not streaming as we work on gearing up for our new campaign starting June 14th, 12th. I don't remember what that Tuesday is. Where's my calendar? June.
June 10th.
Tuesday.
10th. June 10th. Oh, I'm looking at July. I'm like, the 10th is not even on a Tuesday.
The 12th is not on a Tuesday. Neither is the 14th.
That's true. All right. Actually, it'll be June 17th when we get back together because June 3rd, we're going to be traveling. Unless you want to run something special, Rhonda, that's up to you. That's between you and Senior and Joe because Chuck and I are out on the 3rd.
I'm going to be a zombie on the 3rd.
All right. So no stream on the 3rd, no stream on the 10th. Our next stream will be on the 17th, where we will jump into episode 1 of our second campaign.
Bring your fishing rods
Well, if we
for
jump
the
in,
stream.
oh, okay. I was gonna say if we jump in, we'll scare away the fish, so it might be pointless. So, June 17th, after tonight, June 17th will be our next stream. And like I said before, if you're watching, subscribe so you can join in the chat, so you can ask questions. And I think that's it for now. We've lost Joe, and
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
here. I'm just away from the computer, getting the
Told him
dinner
not
stuff.
to turn off his
Oh,
camera
yeah.
before he moved off camera.
Yeah, he just moved off
Exactly.
camera. I said, "Don't turn off your camera," so he disappeared.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
He says, "I'll show you. My camera's attached to my computer." All right. So I think we're ready to kind of jump in. So catch you up a little bit. Last week was the big battle against Velsharoon and his flunky, and you ran into Funay again, who he tried to use as a shield for a brief while until you guys destroyed his plans. Every GM's problem. For some reason, the players always win. I don't. No, that's how it should be. And so you sent him packing, basically. You were informed, I believe, by the Raven Queen. I think Kadeth communed with the Raven Queen that Velsharoon is not dead, weakened, and probably won't see much of him for the next 1,000 years or so. Funay informed you that she was caught at some point, and she never went back to the Shadowfell after releasing Velsharoon's grip upon her. But that she never went to the Shadowfell. So he caught her in the material world and attempted to hold her to use her Shadow Dragon Onyx, but that didn't work as well because she got free. I don't remember what else happened. I don't know that anything. Oh, no, Kadeth took the sword again and communed. had the sword sanctified and joined with his own sword, which boosted the sword he has even further. I do remember that. What else happened?
It's a little ridiculous now.
It is a little ridiculous. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do when they come back for a one shot. I will find something. Evangeline, what did you do? You consulted with the book. You wrote some things down in your book.
I finished up my book for the. I consulted with Denier. He's the one who told me that Velsharoon would be gone for at least a millennia.
Okay, maybe it was you that told
And
you that.
I don't know.
Not the
Raven
Raven
Queen
Queen.
could have told Kadeth that too. So
It's entirely possible.
But got beat up.
Yeah, you took a hammering. Oh, that's what else happened. Newsflash, reveal. When Evangeline got healed, they found out she was pregnant. There's going to be a little Evangeline running around in the future. I don't know what else happened. Forsyth, what did you do? I don't remember. What did you do last week at the end of the battle? You healed.
At the end of the battle?
People. Yeah.
Yeah, I healed some people. That's about it. I didn't
All
even
right.
rest because I didn't need to.
That's right. You don't need to anymore. You can just change form whenever.
Although I do like the naps, you know.
Ain't nothing wrong with the naps. Kenneth, I already said what you did.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss anything?
No.
No? Okay. Fix.
Yes.
You seem to always do the most. What did you do after the battle? Besides
I-
heal. You healed. You healed.
I got healed. Oh, that's right. After the battle, I utilized the power of the clockwork to heal Evangeline and Pune and her dragon.
Oh,
There
that's
was
right.
not any healing remaining for myself. So then that is when Forsyth healed me.
And you get a healing, and you get a healing.
And then we made sure, or I connected with Zybella
Oh yeah.
and
you
informed
checking
her
with
of what had happened, and then made my way away from the group for some private discussions. But after that, I don't remember what else.
Hey, we're doing great.
Kind of certain discussions.
Having certain discussions.
Yes, and plans, because it is finished. And she said that they would be wed after it was done.
That is true. She did indeed. So, you guys head back. Do you guys go to your respective places? You just separate, or do you all collectively go somewhere and rest? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I'd imagine at first we would go to back to the Trinston estate to at least document everything.
Yeah.
Well,
And
Evangeline's
because
been
that's just
documenting everything. We know that.
That's fair.
right, right. And after that, yeah, I think that's when we would start drifting after everything was documented, and we wanted to go meet up with, like, I would want to go meet up with Kosha, and you know, they would want to go back to their perspective or respective orders
Yeah.
to download information to them, because let's face it, both the Order of Truth and the other one, I can't remember what other one was represented here.
Balance.
Balance, that's the one.
Truth
Yeah.
and balance
Would
and the jagged dream.
Truth and they would both want to know what happened with El Sharoon
Yeah,
and how that all played out,
for sure.
and what led to that. So there'd be a long reckoning of information dumps.
Yep. Large amounts of times in debriefs.
Yep.
Just to fulfill their respective, if you will, contracts with their orders. Their
That's true. Their duties.
so that just makes sense that would happen.
Absolutely. So you guys make it to Key and you guys rest for a little bit before you move on to doing
How
your
is Gidna?
perspective things. You go to check on Gidna and Vineth, and both of them, though suffering some damages, Gidna comes out fairly unscathed. Vineth has a permanent limp. He walks with a cane now. He took an arrow to the knee.
Wasn't me. I don't do arrows.
He didn't really take an arrow to the knee. It's more like he took a brick to the leg. In the smashing of Key. Key has definitely got half of the city is like almost in shambles. People are working on rebuilding it. It's just beyond the upper portion of Key. So it hit mostly the lower portions of Key and the port, the western side port. The southern port didn't get hit as hard. But of course, with what happened in Thrice and what happened in Key, the southern port is now in a vice that they're not very effective right now, even though they don't have the damage. because they're on the river between the two. So you
Worlds
see,
go through changes.
yeah, you see a lot of people working on Key and trying to rebuild, what's the word I'm looking for? Like solidify the foundations of, to build that support again to keep the rest of Key from. Do what?
What?
I got a bag of holding full of nanites by now.
Yes, you do.
The way they were replicating.
One of the things Fix would do is make sure that the Jagged Dream stopped any quote unquote nefarious activities in Key and helped with the reconstruction.
They would
So
definitely.
people aren't getting robbed while they're trying to rebuild.
Well, they will definitely do that. You learn very quickly that the Jagged Dream has its little fingers in a lot of different places, not just in the Thieves Guild, but lots of other things as well. And you've got all kinds of people that's part of the Jagged Dream because they don't just do the robbing and stuff. They stir the pot when they need to cause chaos. And you need people in all levels, in all forms of government to do so.
Some people stir pots they shouldn't stir, like my family.
Ain't that the truth?
That's okay. Their hands got smacked.
Get your fingers out of the pot.
I guess at this point, the Jagged Dream even has extensions into the Order of Truth and Order of Balance.
Yes, they do.
But then, so do we in ways.
Okay. The map is up. If you want
Thank
to
you.
take a look at that, I'm going to remove this red line.
Do we need to display the map, or what is?
We don't need to.
No,
Senior just wanted to look at it.
Gotcha.
I wanted to make determination on because I have 3 different areas that that I can go to at the end. To basically, where does life go from here?
There.
Because I've outgrown Thrice. I mean, we've all outgrown our origins. But my origin was a street rat in Thrice.
My origins were in Thrice. But I actually really grew up mostly in Key.
Well, I grew up partly in White Lake and then made my way to the other side of the mountains to Thrice. So.
Yep. So, yeah. So you check on Key. The Jagged Dream definitely pitches in. Those that weren't already pitching in upon your instructions begin to pitch in to help with stabilizing Key and getting the earth to keep from flooding Key, basically. Keep the ocean out of Key.
Okay.
So, and then you begin to disperse to meet with your respective groups. Obviously, full reports from Kadeth. They're all ears. Rockdiff and Kilmock, when he hears, he will make his way to Key, and they will sit down with you, Evangeline. Forsyth, Kosha, you don't seem like the settled down type, honestly.
No, we're not. That's the whole point.
Kosha will totally run around with you.
Yeah. So I'll ask a meta game.
Yeah.
What is her level and what is her class?
She is. Hey, stop moving my lines. She is all thief.
Okay.
And she is, I don't know, somewhere around level 12 at this point.
That'll change.
Yeah.
Well, I will ask what her opinion is, but I have 3 different thoughts in mind. One would be to literally map the black riage. But what fun would that be to a thief?
Never know what you can find.
The amorphous fields are kind of empty of cities. But Angkor Kala,
Oh, yeah, the Clock of Kala.
that sounds interesting because we never really got to there.
No, you have not.
And going in as a couple of average looking people, yet fairly small in stature,
Yeah.
but able to withstand most anything, that would be quite an interesting adventure.
She is all down for that. She will go map out
So,
the Clock of Kala with you.
yeah, we will literally walk the way there because we have time.
Yeah.
We have all the resources we ever need. And walking through the sheer would be fun.
All right. So you guys will work on getting yourselves together to take off on an adventure, the Clock of Kala.
Absolutely.
All right.
Anyone want to go with?
My calendar is currently full.
I got plans.
Well, if you ever need me, you know where to find me.
Somewhere in the
Wherever
Clock of
trouble
Kala.
is,
Just
I'll
look for
either be
somebody
solving
getting
it or
arrested. Oh,
I'll either be creating it or resolving it.
or
Or both.
both at the same time.
Or both at the
Maybe
same
both.
time, yeah. But I'll be doing it with pizzazz.
And Kosha is going to be his wingman.
Yep. Wing person.
Well, at least she can.
The wing woman.
At least she can keep things safer.
I'll be
Maybe.
the one keeping her out of trouble. What do you mean?
They both have their vices.
Yeah,
Not quite
I
the
mean,
same
we're well
vice.
funded. We're well funded, and it's not like we need money. So it'll be an enjoyable experience.
She will gladly go on that adventure with you.
Yeah.
So, Kadeth, after you inform everybody of, or you talk to the masters, whom they accept you as one of their own. You are a master. What would you like to do from there?
So I'm actually going to go spend time in the mountains.
Okay.
Finding the Goliaths and any other intelligent beings that are up there.
Okay.
But essentially working on converting as many of the Goliaths as I can over to following the Raven Queen.
Okay.
And if I happen to find love while I'm there, then so be it. If not, so be it.
All right.
That's not necessarily my goal up there. I mean, I'm going back to my people that I never knew, but
okay, going back to your roots a little bit.
Yeah.
Trying to learn a little bit more about
and
where you came from.
learn about my family and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. You go and you visit the where Erwin basically guides you a little bit there.
Yeah.
And you find the tribe of giants that you believe is probably your mother's family. And you learn that your mother kind of left the giants and sought out one giant in particular who was called I think they called her the Truth Carver.
Okay.
She was a shaman that among the giants that gave your mother Information, because your mother kept looking for more power. And she had
Okay.
given some information to your mother, and along with warnings, of course, on seeking out too much. Um, and from some of this information, your mother did some digging and some research, and that's where she learned the ritual originally that ended up killing your brother, who is now not dead, and causing you to be found by Irwin.
Hmm.
So you dig up some information, and you eventually find Truth Carver, and she shares a lot of information with you in that regards about your mother, and you know she apologizes for even sharing her with her that little bit, um, but also confirms that it definitely came with warnings. And to be perfectly honest, she never thought your mother would follow through with some of that.
Okay. And I'll talk to her. I'll basically share with her how the Raven Queen was able to take that and save both of us.
All right.
And and then talk about some of the, not all the things, but some of the things that have happened since then. Give a general idea of my story and
All right.
and basically I'm gonna spend even if it's months up there just talking to the people and seeing if there are anybody who would be interested in following the Raven Queen.
You get several people that kind of lend an ear. Um, Truth Carver also seems to listen. You pick up pretty quickly that Truth Carver probably, um, even though she listens and kind of she converts to worshiping the Raven Queen. Basically, it's a slow process, but because
Right.
she's been shamanistic for quite some time, just by her own powers. But you see a little bit of like Savras with the Truth Carver. You're seeing that
Mm.
she also has a little bit of that foretelling and watching that kind of you've seen Evangeline do on occasion. She has a little bit of that.
Then
Um,
I would also offer to introduce her to some of Severus's people.
she would be very interested in that.
Maybe take a couple-week journey and travel there with her.
Okay, yeah, because that's
So,
the moving city is where you found
right. We'd have to
Savras's.
figure out where they're at and
We gotta find the moving city. Well, it was here last year.
this is the last place I saw it. So let's go from there.
Uh, so yeah, she'll gladly join you on a trip and a journey and learn about all of that. So that's going to be, I don't know, a couple of years perhaps, travel through the mountains, figuring out, finding the tribes, finding
Right.
Truth Carver, spending time with Truth Carver, and taking her up to the traveling city, which it starts with an N, and I can't. Niliesh? No, that's not it. Niliesh is
No.
south. What is the name of that city? I don't remember. The traveling city. Um, so it's gonna, and you spend some time up there. So that takes several years. And you just basically you kind of just travel then at that point.
Yeah. And if I meet a girl, I meet a girl. If I don't, I don't.
Well, I don't know. Do you want to see if you meet a girl?
Sure.
You got a 50% chance. Call
Right.
high or low.
Uh that depends. Are you rolling or am I?
Oh, I'm not rolling.
Oh.
No, this is all on you. This is your life, man.
If you were rolling and then I know what to choose. If not, then I don't know what to choose. Uh I'll say hi.
All right.
So if I roll high, I find someone.
Yep.
Yeah, a 3. I found
Nope.
nobody.
You are still single.
It was on a D6, so
Sharing
The women are happy.
so you are still single, sharing the truth of the Raven Queen and learning more about yourself in the process. Evangeline, you, after you rest a little bit and you go to the Order of Truth and you meet up with Rockdiff and Kilmock and share. I'm sure you share about Velsharoon and then the things that happen with Velsharoon. Is there anything else in particular you wish to share? Or not share, I guess.
Now that she has the opportunity and things have calmed down a little bit.
Well, real quick, Fix is gonna ask her before we even left or whatnot. So are you gonna make an honest man out of my brother now?
I think I may have already. I will make an honest man out of him.
So, double wedding?
Double wedding. 2 for 1.
2 for 1.
Double the pleasure, double the fun.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. Having time to sit in Kilmock's office with him and Rockdiff,
Him and Rockdiff.
I would pull the journal
Okay.
that I took
Okay.
and share with Rockdiff that I'm ready to make my own entry. When he's ready to move on.
You mean Kilmock? When
Kilmock.
Kilmock's ready to move on?
Not Rockdiff, Kilmock.
Yeah. Well, Rockdiff is there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Kilmock kind of looks at Rockdiff. Rockdiff looks at Kilmock, kind of shrugs his shoulders. It's like, it's your call. Kilmock says, I think with the changes in the world that has happened, with the new scars and the chaos that has ensued from some of that, and the shields having been reactivated, which also causes a bit of chaos in and of itself. I think now is the time, is a good time to have a new Amber Pope. Do you wish to be Duranet the Seventh, or do you wish to take on a different name? We've all been Duranet at this point.
Have they all been male?
Yeah.
We will go with the different.
Drania.
We will go with the new time and the new change. We will go with a new name.
Very well.
And I will be the first. And we will open up the order for those who are seeking paths back to the gods.
Very well. New
All
direction.
people. All people. No matter what their shape or size or what they look like.
Kilmock smiles. Rockdiff also smiles. Rockdiff says it's about time. There will be waves. We will have to iron some things out internally. Externally, I don't think there will be an issue.
The internal waves can be dealt with. I have friends. I have family.
You may have a cadet fix, but she has a fix.
I have a fix.
All right. Rockdiff says, when you are ready. The announcement shall be made.
After the birth. After the wedding, after the honeymoon, after the birth.
So let's plan 10, nope, let's give you a little bit of time. 1 year from now.
1 year from now.
And we will begin to subtly creep in some things internally that will make this smoother. Give us a year. Rockdiff says, I'm on it. And it won't be long till you start hearing little rumors about, oh, did you hear about so-and-so? I don't think they're actually human, blah, 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 blah. And you will hear Kilmock's name every now and then come up. So you start hearing rumors about other races and things of that nature that start to make people go, So the information has trickled. And so they will plan that switch over for a year from now. Fix.
Yes.
You check on Gidna and Vineth. You know Vineth now walks with a cane. Gidna seems to be okay though. The cat was attacking the dog. And
Who won?
the cat. She strutted herself right out of this room, and he whimpered in a corner until she left. So, and you get in touch with Zybella. You know of Evangeline's dealings. And Gavian does actually come into town, Evangeline and Fix, you both know this. Because last time you looked at him, he was flying over the Black Riage. He does make it into town. And of course, will support Evangeline in all of her decisions. Because that's who he is. So Fix, what do you do?
First, going to go to, after a couple weeks of downtime with Zybella and planning and just resting, we'll go to that city that had all of the slaves that we ran out of. See what the climate is there, and like just walk straight into the capital or whatever it is, and see if anybody says,
All
"Hey,
right.
it's the outlaw" or whatever.
You and who? Or just you?
Anybody that would like to join.
Probably, seeing as the direction I want to take the Order of Truth, probably myself and Gavian would probably go with.
If it's on the way, Kosha and I would have gone with him.
Poor Chuck. He should get another role.
Okay. I mean, if Chuck wants another roll,
and
I don't know.
he has his sword.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cadet's pretty happy with a sword. I don't know. You're muted, dear.
What else do I need? I have a sword.
I have a sword.
and
What a cut up.
Zybella could attend as well if she would like, but not like she'd have to. She has a busy schedule, but then again, it's her choice.
Yeah, Zybella might just come along just to see and check it out.
All right. And how do they react?
So they, when you walk in with you guys, as you take a quick jaunt up here to before you head out to the Clock of Kala, as you walk into the city, the guards are taken back because they do recognize you, but you're not like at the top of the list anymore because, well, you've not been there in quite some time, you know. And as soon as you like are heading straight to the capital, of course, they're going to let you walk into whatever you walk into. It's like, well, I don't have to do anything. They're going there anyway. So, but you do
It's not
notice
like anyone.
yeah, you do notice some of the guard will follow. You walk in and you find, oh shoot, what was her name? Lady.
I got it here. Shoot.
Oh my gosh, that's been a while. Do you have it? I don't remember her name.
Name of the city.
This is
Uxven.
Rhonda's job.
I know, this is Rhonda's job. What was her name, Rhonda? Uxven. Uxphon. Uxven.
Whoops.
Oh gosh, I cannot remember her name. Lady whatever. She is there.
Studani.
Yes. You do notice as you're walking into the city, of course, the outer area is still kind of slummish. Not that much time has passed. The outer area is still kind of slummish, and as you get closer to the center of the city, the buildings get better. You walk into the main building. You find Lady Studani presiding on a throne. You see a gentleman sitting next to her on another throne, who is a tiefling. And you walk in, and she stands up. And she says, did you introduce yourself as Kofik to her? I don't remember. I don't know if you did.
I don't remember.
That was pretty early.
It was. It was like, let's just say no.
Okay, I was like, I don't think that you did. You might have just introduced yourself as Fix. And she will stand up, and she will say, Fix, and Evangeline, and Kadeth, and Forsyth.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, would you be in a form that she would recognize?
I'm not sure what. I can't remember which form I was
thought it
in
was
when
a
I was last
female
in the
form.
city.
Yeah, I think it was
Oh, yeah.
female while you were here.
No problem. I would go in as whatever they were expecting.
Okay. And Forsyth, you guys are you have more people with you. You are normally you're still on the most wanted list here for the death of previous.
Oh. Well, then I think you should update your list with my actual name. I am Kofik Trinston.
Kofik Trenston of the Trenston House of Key.
Yes, and it's been probably about a month now, so I'm not sure what rumors have made their way up here, but
hit or miss.
I just know that you She
did a
was
lot.
fairly well informed.
She was fairly well informed. Well then, she will kind of look around and she'll wave over one of her guards and he'll walk over. She will say, "Let it be known, get it written, that these 4 are pardoned for that crime."
Isn't that nice?
It wasn't really a crime. It was more or less a mercy killing.
More or less. The city is better off for it for sure. We are still, of course, recovering on some of the economic areas.
Well, that's partially why I'm here. I'm here to collect my inheritance.
What is your inheritance?
Check your records.
Oh, crap. Did he make a deal with you before you killed him?
Oh no deal with him. We inherited what's his name's or
Yes. His estate.
yes.
Zayn.
Well, she'll look at the gentleman sitting next to her and says, "Guess it's official." He says, "Yeah." You see him kind of drop his head a little bit. He's like, "Yeah, okay. All right. The estate is yours. I will move my things.
That would be
Unless, of course, you want me to stay there."
the estate of Jennick Rupert.
Yes.
Yes.
Ruproot. Ruproot.
Rup-
Yeah, I think it's I want to say Rupert too,
Rupert.
which is why I
Yeah.
think Ruproot.
Well,
It's
I
Ruproot.
don't have on my reading glasses.
I know. He will then stand and say, "I am Lord, I don't know,
Whatever his name
Xavier."
was.
I don't think he's not the same guy
Yeah.
that she had before. He said, I'm going to call him Xavier. "I am Lord Xavier. Um, it's not a secret that Lady Studani and I are an item. We just haven't made it official."
Well, hold off on moving out. Hold off on relinquishing the title.
Very well. I mean, I will keep the servants are busy keeping it up, keeping it clean.
I'm going to send somebody here to manage your conversion away from your previous practices. If she accepts the position, I'll allow her to decide whether you move out or whether she finds other lodging, which I expect you to help her with.
Oh, we will help. If you send someone, we will help them with their stay, of course. Lady Studani says, "Well, you are welcome to send anybody to aid." And she emphasizes aid.
He smiles and says, "I hope you take their advice under heavy consideration."
We will take it into consideration, of course.
He just smiles and gives her a "I don't have time for your bullshit" kind of look. I am not the diplomatic one in my family.
Is
No, you
there
are
an
not.
establishment of the Order of Truth in this town?
There is not.
There's now. No.
There is now.
We will be establishing a location of the Order of Truth.
An outpost.
outpost, of which
We will accept that.
will be of a different mindset than what the Order of Truth was previously.
You're
An
not
acceptance
gonna like
of
it.
all
Wait.
mankind.
I mean, absolutely.
And actually, Fix would have discussed it before coming here. He would have spoken to Gidna if she wished to semi-retire here to advise, and if she wanted to take Darling with her,
Darling. Oh,
the Golden Scarab.
yeah.
Scared.
I remember these things, Jody.
Yes, sometimes you surprise me.
Did you
I
take
remember my
notes
name.
while you were off this week?
Gidna will take into consideration. She'll get. I mean, she'll get back to you after you get home and say, yeah, I think I will take you up on that.
Roll for it.
It could be. I mean, I am no economist, I guess I should say, but
Let them worry about their economy. I just want to make sure that they change their practice of slavery
you just
and
want
endanger to.
a presence. A presence I can be.
Yes. And I want her to know that her actions are not going unnoticed.
Gidna will take you
You
up on
in
that.
trouble.
And definitely will take Darling with her.
Okay. And
Okay. I just got note in Discord that on the YouTube, Rhonda seems very quiet, and Senior's mic is actually rather loud this time.
oh,
Usually Senior's softer.
I can try to adjust Rhonda's.
I can turn me down a little.
A senior is particularly loud.
Yeah. Usually we're like, what did you say, Senior? What?
Yeah.
We finally got his mic fixed. Or you got a new one.
Nope.
Rhonda, go ahead and say something and ask the person that sent you the information if that has improved it.
Something.
It's the person who sent Jody knock out two things with one stone. Is it improved?
There we go.
Quit picking on me.
Yeah, and Lady Studani will definitely she's very coy. She doesn't give out a whole lot of information. She's just I said it's a little better. Doesn't give out a whole lot of information and agrees for an envoy of yours, to come and whatnot. And she definitely will offer you food and lodging. Of course, you can stay at the estate. Lord Xavier will gladly provide space for you at the estate because by all rights it is yours. And you can stay a couple of days in Uxfin for a while if you want to before returning.
Would probably stay a couple days rather than just doing a boomerang trip.
I figured.
This is a great place for us to cross the Black Riage.
Yeah, you can cross the Black Riage and head on over.
And,
After, go
and
ahead.
during that those few days, he would try to tactfully drop certain titles and such to sort of dissuade her from trying to pull anything.
Okay. I mean, she takes you tell that she takes the hint and she can read between the lines and things like that, but she definitely maintains her coy up
Facade
there.
of
Yep.
control.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, after a couple of days, you do notice that, like, the games that you guys were quite
Part of.
so wonderfully a part of, they no longer happen. You do see that there are plenty of servants and stuff still, running around taking care of households and things like that, but there definitely is more of not a sense of oppression any longer that you kind of feel there. They feel more free, even though there are servants and stuff running about. Some of them, who knows why they stay. If you stop and talk to a few, some of them stay because that's all they know. Some of them stay because the people that they worked for before as slaves never treated them as such and always treated them as servants and paid them and took care of them just as much as they took care of their masters, and so they wish to maintain that relationship. Others have left and just explore the world or whatever. Um,
And that's
just
the thing. Like Fix doesn't want like, oh well, you can't
yeah.
have servants or
Oh
things
yeah.
like that. But
Oh yeah.
the slavery and the abductions and things like that
Yep.
are verboten.
Yep. Are verboten. You will be smote.
Or smacked around with a large Bigby's hand.
Well, there is that.
Or by a rather large elemental.
Or who knows, you might be flattened by a mammoth falling from the sky.
Yeah.
Um,
One of my better moves.
so, but yeah, no, you definitely don't see that activity any longer. It's not. It's definitely not as prevalent. You visit. What's his name? I almost want to call him Jared. I don't remember what his name was. Part of the Jagged Dream here.
Mhm.
You visit him and you learn from him that what you see is accurate. He has not heard of any new shipments, trafficking of any kind. The games, of course, have stopped. They have no longer participated in any of those games since then and whatnot. So things are on the up. It's just a slow process.
Changing mindsets is the hardest thing to
Yep.
do.
Yep. Basically. So, but it is getting better.
Um, what? Sorry, trying to go through everything else. Um, Weirfall would be our new summer home or something, but make sure that always goes through.
Weirfall?
Wasn't it Weirfall? Gira's
Yeah,
Oh
Gira.
yeah, Gara's estate. Oh, that's right, because Vaneth procured it.
Yep.
He will hand you the deed.
I will take it, I will look at it, and I will hand it right back to him.
Oh, well, thank you. I will hold
I
on to
don't
this
need it.
A place
for
to
safekeeping.
a place to put up your leg.
It is definitely away from the city. It would be a nice change.
And then at some point in the future, after the weddings and everything, Vix would set up teleportations between Ephraimon and Key to easily go back and forth. Would set up a schedule with Evangeline for maintenance on all of the
On the orreries.
on all of the orreries.
Yeah.
And then would work with the Order of Truth and the Order of Balance, and the part of the Jagged Dream to set up a force dedicated to preparing and stopping any attempted resurfacing of Valsharoon.
All right. In working in that, working on putting that together over the years, You can make it up on the fly if you want, or if you have somebody in mind. Evangeline, who would you ask from the Order of Truth to be a part of this?
No pressure.
pressure. Kenneth. Because the masters of the Order of Balance would look to you to pick somebody to be a part of this. Remember, you are on mute.
Probably what's his name? And we'd have to have somebody else fill in for him when he's not around, but I'm trying to remember where he was from.
Are you thinking about the blood magic guy?
I think so. Which one was that? Do you remember?
I don't remember his name. I remember he helped us break the blood curse on
Right.
Gidna. Or
Oh,
create the amulet to break the curse.
what was his name?
Oh, Rowlett?
Yeah.
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 Rowlett would do that. Rowlett and his beautiful blue glory. He's the Dalkin.
I would
Yes.
I would probably ask Leslin
Leslin?
if she would be interested in
Oops.
that.
Yeah, Leslin would be interested in that. She would gladly serve the Order of Truth in that manner. Who would you have part of it as being in the Jagged Dream?
What what race was his little brother? The young
He was human. Dolan?
was he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dolan's human.
Because the way Fix is thinking about it is he's gonna want somebody who can live long enough to pursue this. But there's magic, so probably Dolan.
So Dolan. All right, Dolan. That'll work. And would you ask Forsyth to think of somebody that might be a wild card for this group?
I would offer him a choice to nominate somebody. Yes.
Fillet of fish.
You would
Oh.
ask Philaethus?
Well, that's the next thing. Fix would go to Phileathus and say, "Have you made your decision?"
He says, I think where I'm at is good. I honestly have been broken from this bind for a little while.
Maybe it's time for a new venue.
Do I need a new venue?
Not if you don't want one. You're free to do as you please. Your protection is appreciated, though.
Well, I will say that when I leave this household here in Key, the people of this household, other than a select few apparently, will think I am still here. Should you need
Understood.
me, I can be reached. Obviously.
Very well.
And if you want him, if you ask him to be a wild card kind of in this group, he will.
I
'Cause
would.
obviously he can go places and see things and hear things. I mean, he looks like a statue.
Yeah.
But he also understands us, our feelings towards things.
That is true.
So yes, he would definitely be extended an invitation, along with an additional wild card would be offered a spot shallow.
To Shallow? Okay. Shallow We'll say, I do not mind if you go and visit Shallow. Shallow says, I do not mind to keep an eye out and an ear out and to share information as needed. Should he try to make an appearance again, I may do as I did the last time and just watch. But I will share information should I see anything.
Appreciated. Did you know that it would
What's the
turn out
name
like
of
this?
that town way far south?
What's way far south?
Way far south at the southern wall or whatever the
Lipgara?
Lipgara, thank you.
Mascara.
Mascara? Lipstick mascara? Did she know? You asked Shallow, did she know? Shallow says she had an inkling. She says, I could see the potential from the first time we met.
Is that a small pen? An inkling?
An inkling, yeah. She also says when you brought the pendants and asked about the blood magic, that was intriguing to her. And she could read that you guys almost always had more than you would share, and you had knowledge of old magics that most people don't have. So she, watched and hoped for the best. If she were a betting fae, she'd have put money on it, but she's not a betting fae.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Half the time I felt like we were fumbling our way through it.
As is the way with most gods. They give you just enough information to fall forward.
While others were trying to pull us back.
True.
But other than that, I don't think that there were any other grand schemes other than marriage that Fix had in mind.
The grand scheme of marriage. Marriage.
The most dangerous adventure of all.
Marriage.
That's right. Marriage. All
that
right.
was done so well.
It was done very well. All right. Outside of that, the day comes. Wait, do you want to get married before or after baby? Before. Okay.
Oh, you're sounding really low now. I think might be back.
Yeah,
That's because I stepped back.
She leaned back.
Oh.
All right. Before. How fast? You got 9 months. Because you're human.
That's a theory.
Depends on how long we're going to take. I'm game next week.
Cap, you'll say, let's go. He's always up for an adventure. This is the biggest adventure of them all.
Life.
All right. So you both get married.
It was a lovely ceremony.
Do you actually do a double wedding?
The brides
Why
were
not?
white.
All right. The brides wear white. Sure. Zybella's got some green and ivory and or ivy and stuff.
Fix at this point considers Evangeline and Kadath and Forsyth family. So like if they're both getting married, he has no problem with it being a grand ceremony.
Thing. All right.
Question, where is that taking place?
Do you want it to take place in Key?
Built.
Yep.
Key would make sense. And
Or you
since
can
I
have
already
it-
know the plants there, I will study the plants here in Uxfon,
Mhm.
and I will
just-
go to Key, and I'll just open the gate for all of us.
I figure there's
And then we
only
can,
one or two places where this wedding is going to take place.
It's going to be Key or Ephraimon, which you know
I'm-
the plants in both locations.
Yeah,
right.
it's either going to
True.
be at the Trinston estate or it's going to be in the trees.
Or it's going to be in the trees. Which
Yeah.
Gabion is good with both of those. I mean, he's taken to the sky of late.
And besides, the barkeep in Ephraimon already knows how to make the kiss.
This
True.
is true.
Well, Ephraimon, yeah,
It
will
real-
put us on the right side of the
You'll be on
Black
the right side
Riage.
of the mountains.
Yeah.
The question is how big of a ceremony and how prestigious of a guest list is Isabella going
People are going to want to
be
go.
comfortable
Well,
with?
you know, it's got to be, you got to consider Zybella, and you got to consider the Trinstons, and you got to consider the Order of Truth at the Durkal. But I'm okay with a quiet ceremony.
I don't think anything we do would be able to be quiet.
Well,
I would also invite my friends, my two friends from White Lake,
yeah, they would be there.
because they know both of you.
Mhm.
Not to mention the dragons.
Okay, it's sounding more and more like you need to have this in the woods, not in
It's
the
a
forest,
state event.
or not in the city.
It is kind of a state event.
It is
Go
kind
out
of a
to the
state event.
Steadfast where it's open.
Yeah, somewhere out there in the plains,
We're out there in the, not the Steadfast. Yeah, that's
in the beyond, in
in
the
the
plains. Yeah, just not the amorphous fields. They're ever
Yeah, no.
changing. It is
But
a,
you
a,
got to
a state
consider
event.
sunrise and sunset around the crystal. Around
The crystal
would be
fields
beautiful.
with sparkle.
Very.
Now it is a state event. There is a fun thing that Cybella will bring out, and Gavion's kind of good with the flow, whatever you guys decide, because he runs in the underground mostly, or in the sky with the dragons. He doesn't know anything really about estate things, but
That will change.
oh
Not
well.
only will I make an honest man out of him, I'm going to culture him as
You're
well.
gonna culture him as well. He's like, okay. But no, really, Zybella will mention, there is nothing wrong with having a private affair, and then actually throwing a ceremony of estate, of grandeur, for
That would
the
probably be more
appeasement. Yeah, the appeasement of governments and lords and ladies and various other.
There's not a major population center where we haven't had some
Honestly, in this situation,
direct effect.
a
Yeah.
quiet event in Ephraimon. Then do a state event in the capital city.
Fixed would be good with that.
All right. Then you will have a quiet event in Ephraimon, where your closest of friends and family are welcome. It is beautiful. It is gorgeous because the druids from Thrice that was sent to Thrice came and, called in help from the animals to light up the event. You get glittering fireflies or lightning bugs, depending on what part of the country you're from, flickering all over.
Do they bite? Oh.
No, they don't bite. I've never been bit by one. And it's a gorgeous event, and it's private, and it's quiet, and you guys have I don't know, several days to rest and enjoy each other's companies, and you plan a major event. The major event will probably be planned for after the baby is born and after you probably take over the papacy. So like 18 months forward is when the
Elf, the
major
first
event.
of her name.
Yes, Elf. Pope Elf. Oh wait, did you come up with a name?
Yes, I did. Shannara the First.
Shannara. Pope Shannara the First. All right.
Oh.
All right, Pope Shannara the First. All right. 12 months hence, there is definitely an announcement. Forsyth, you get word of this because you guys are in the clock of Kala. You know, you eventually get word of it, or you come back for it briefly because you can teleport. And so, 12 months forward, well, 9 months forward, you have the baby. Roll me. High, roll me percentile. High, it's a boy. Low, it's a girl.
What does it have to be to get twins?
I don't know. It has to be in the upper 10% or the lower 10%. Upper, it'll be
13.
I don't know. What'd you get?
Well, I got a 90 on the 0 one and a tree.
And a tree. What is a tree?
Tree on the single digit one.
That's a 10.
That's a 10.
So 90.
She's having twins. Oh.
In
She
that
has
case, we'll just have a boy and a girl.
she has twins.
Nah, gotta roll for it.
I'll roll for it.
All right.
You could have triplets.
Do they explode? Does she have exploding
God.
percentile?
We are not having a litter. This is strictly for gender. That was a 92. And that was a 77.
Okay, she has a set of twin boys. She's got her hands full.
And Uncle Fix
And they
is
got a mom who's
definitely
able to
going to
keep.
spoil them.
They've got a mom who's able to keep track of them.
Yeah.
Slap
All
some
right.
nanite communicators on them kids.
That's right. They got permanent name tags. Whack. I will always
all right,
know where these boys are.
I can temporarily disable them. It's okay.
Suddenly they spend a lot of time with Uncle Kofik. So you have a set of twin boys 9 months from this point. And another 4 months pass, and Kilmock and Rakadif and you put on a ceremony at Key. Key is definitely looking better at the end of the year. And you put on the ceremony. Kilmock passes over a ceremonial scepter that has absolutely no magical properties whatsoever.
It's just pretty.
It's just pretty. And passes that over to you, lays a sash around you that signifies that you are now the Pope of the Order of Truth. Announces your name as Pope Shannara, the First of the Order of Truth. And as Kilmock, everybody cheers, yay, yay, yay. And as Kilmock walks away, he drops his human form. And he is very openly out that he is a tiefling.
For me.
Which I already knew.
Which is a total like shock to most of the people. And Rockdiff, just carries on the ceremony as if nothing's amiss. You now know that Rockdiff definitely knew.
Yep.
And you make an announcement that the Order of Truth is going to be open to all races who wish to seek truth and guidance to the gods. And you just kind of open that up to no gods in specific per se, but to truth and anybody in the search to a path of a god, you are willing to help out. And over the next few months or so, you do get a flux of people that come in and want to know more. A lot of questions about the former pope, because nobody knew he was a tiefling. That just kind of get fielded and whatnot. You know, you start to develop some canned responses.
Yes, we know it's a shock. Deal with it.
Yep.
Yep.
After about 18 months or so, you do have a formal wedding ceremony. For many of the estates, heads of estates, and various cities, mayors, governors, kings, queens, lords, ladies, they come out especially to know that the newly announced Pope Shannara I is going to get married. You're also going to be probably the first Pope that actually has a significant other and children. They find out. And
I'm a 21st century kind of gal.
you are a 21st century kind of gal. And many people want to see that. They also come out knowing that the Lord of the Trinson estate, that probably, 2 years ago at this point, you were announced as Lord Trinson of the estate. And
Right.
they come out to see you get married as well to I don't know. What did she call herself? Is she a queen, an ambassador, an emperor? What did she call herself? Governess of
I don't.
Ephraimon of the Ba'adinu. I don't remember. Did she give herself a title? Did she have a title?
I don't think she gave herself a title.
I don't think so. Isabella was just a mistress.
Was just
A mistress of the council.
mistress of the council.
Hmm.
I don't know that I ever gave her
I
a
think
name. A title. What title would
I-
she have?
At this point,
probably. What are your thoughts?
I think at this point, she would have some sort of an official title.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I mean, she could very well just title herself an ambassador.
Yep, and she could.
Yeah,
She
I
could
don't think
be
that she,
a
knowing her
high
aversion,
elder. She would have
knowing her,
been a high elder at this
She's a
point,
high elder.
but she may just be an ambassador because she has been doing a lot of traveling.
Mm-hmm.
and I know that she wouldn't. At least I believe she wouldn't enjoy a moniker of like queen, knowing her aversion to authority, of
Yeah.
using authority.
Nope.
I think if it would be anything, it would be something like grand caretaker of the Badun
Yeah,
forest or
maybe.
something like that.
A caretaker. Yeah. She could take that.
Something that relays her
Doesn't
importance
matter.
and authority
Actually, as of about
without.
12 months ago, she was Lady Trinston.
Eh,
Yeah. She would probably use ambassador just for translation purposes, kind of thing. Probably among her people, she would be just known as maybe even mother. They might even call her mother. Um, Something a little bit more informal per se. But she'll call herself ambassador. So lots of people come out to see this because Zybella has been traveling and they realize that she is probably the authoritative figure of the Ba'udina Force. And so in their minds, they're thinking, okay, she's an empress, a queen, a governess, whatever, of these people, and she's an elf. And so they come out to witness that as well. So it is a grand event. Lots of people in Key. Key is at this point almost a year and a half, about a year and a half from the
Into
scarring
rebuilding.
event into rebuilding. This grand event is actually going to help Key in rebuilding because now people are spending money in Key because now they all want to see. So that's going to help Key in the future. And so you run off, you take some time, you have some honeymoon, and you go about your lives. Evangeline, you're running the Order of Truth. Gavian is at your side anytime you need him, and sometimes when you don't want him there. Go away, Gavian. Go take these boys. Do something with them.
These boys betrayed. Of course, at this time, they're still babies. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Eventually.
Hey, I can make baby-sized little forge hammers. Okay.
That's right. Oh, they will definitely know how to forge.
They will know. They will know how to forge. They will also know how to fly a dragon.
Forge, fly a dragon, and tinker.
Fix, you and Cybella. Do you go childless or do you have children?
Probably have children.
Okay.
More than one. Not like 12, but a few.
I don't know. Elf families are actually usually small.
Yeah. So, 2 or 3. And at some point, no rush into it or anything like that. Other than that, just forcing himself not to go adventure more than necessary.
Yeah, you got the bug.
Like he wants to go everywhere, make sure everything is going like very much a make sure things are going accordingly, but has to trust the people that he has put in place. And doesn't mind it because he gets to spend more time with Zybella.
Absolutely. And she goes places. You can travel with her. And sometimes she just stays at home. She likes her house. She likes her Ephraimon.
His primary place of residence would probably change to Ephraimon to be near her. So,
yep.
But well, like pretty much all of us, he can travel easily.
That's true. Most of you can travel fairly easily these days. Over time, when you get the itch, and Kadeth, you will know first. Contact with Ordith becomes available. You learn that he has done a lot of work in the Shadowfell, and he is now basically referred to by most of the undead there in Shadowfell as an emperor. He has taken over the Shadowfell, and he has cleaned it out, mostly, of Velsharin's followings. There are always, of course, areas of pockets of issues, but he has done his job as given to him by the Riven Queen.
And I'll probably go visit him at some point and all that.
All right.
And I purposely did not seek a resolution to taking the ring to the forge.
Yep.
So.
But you have a connection.
Yes. And
Fune.
Possibly, yeah, and Fune.
Fune is around. But with that, now that you guys are kind of off doing your thing, setting up the Order of Truth, running the Order of Truth, getting business under control for you, Evangeline, Forsyth and Kosha are traveling the Clock of Kala, mapping it as best they can, letting, when they check in, letting you know of new creatures and things of that nature that they have run across.
Coming home and showing us what they look like?
Yep, coming home and showing you what they look like.
When we have time.
Instead of saying, I caught this fish that is this big, he'll just like, wait, just let me show you.
I'll be up the tree. It looks like this.
Taking care. Yeah, life is fun. Taking care of the jagged dream, getting all of those affairs in order, and trusting the people you have in place so that you can enjoy time and make a family with your new wife. And Kadeth, traveling, learning about himself, being able to travel and visit Ordeeth, check in with him, and doing your thing, spreading the Raven Queen's word, and unfortunately being forever single. But hey, it's okay. You're a champion of the Raven Queen. She may call you back at any time. Why put that burden on somebody else? And so with that, we're going to take about a 10-minute break, and then when we come back, I am open for any questions about the campaign, what happened to so and so, what would have happened if kind of questions. And I'll do my best to answer because, a GM's mind is always fun to pick sometimes. And
Ooh.
and then we'll kind of announce a little bit about our upcoming campaign toward the end. So
And we have availability. Like and subscribe. Put in the chat if you have a question. We also go to the website, beingdadjokes.com. At the back page on the contacts, shoot us a question in the contacts. I got the email up. I'll get it right away. Multiple ways.
yep. So yeah, we'll take 10 and then we'll come back. So that'll give you 10 minutes, those of you who are watching, to come up with a question, maybe, and throw it out
Possibly.
there. Yeah.
Perhaps. All right.
Or you guys too. All right, we'll be
We
back
shall
in 10.
return. 2.
All right, we are back. Couple of things that you all thought of was there's still a gentleman Reneo in the basement of the Trinson estate who can tell no lie.
No lie, no half truth, no misdirection. Like, made sure that he could not scheme and connive at all.
And do you keep him at the Trinson estate, or do you transfer him to the Order of Truth?
Probably keep him at the Trinson estate.
All right. You keep him there for a while then. Maybe for the rest of his days.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Well, Fix likes to torment. From
Hey,
time to time.
I have not tortured anybody.
I didn't say torture.
Oh.
I said torment.
So, yep. So he is in the bottom of the estate.
I would probably definitely take some time every 6 months or so to go down and just ask him innocent seeming questions that he would love to lie about but can't.
See, she's right. You like to torment.
At this point, I know my brother-in-law.
All right. Well, so we are at the point in here that if you have questions about what took place during the campaign, some of the plot hooks here or there, maybe even some of them that you're like, hey, we never actually followed up on, kind of things, ask away and I will answer to the best of my ability, keeping in mind that you do indeed have some items that you would like to get destroyed and things of that nature that we could very well revisit these characters in the future to do a one-shot to destroy said items and various other things. So anything that would have taken place during the campaign, I will gladly answer. But if it should lead to something that might take place in the future, I may be a little bit more vague on that answer. Just saying. So, with that in mind, do we have any questions?
For us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From you
Pertinent
guys?
ones.
Where would we have found those other 5 cards?
The other 5 cards? The 5 cards that you did not collect. Oh. All right. Let me pull open my notes. Oh, wait. What is going on with my iPad here? There we go.
That is a good question.
Yeah, well, I was a little curious about that myself. All right. In the time that has passed, I don't know why it didn't come up automatically. I hate it when it does this.
What about that one?
There it is. All right. The 5 cards you did not collect. One of them was the star, which was thrown in by the god Tyr. You did not collect because you did not actually go on an adventure with Morgrim. You would have found that during the adventure of Morgrim reclaiming his, what's the word I'm looking? Reconciling with Tyr, because that was the god that Morgrim followed. Fix's father. One of them that you did not collect was the Comet card. Wait, you did collect the Comet card, didn't you?
Yeah, we got the comment.
Yeah, you got the comment card. I don't know what I did here. One of them that you did not collect was the flames. You did not collect the flames. That was thrown in by the god Hor, Hoar, Hor. I don't know. I'd have to go over and what was that? Flames. I wrote in my pronunciations in here. Yeah, Hor. Which would have taken place had you actually been able to kill the corruption early. Because we didn't travel that path, I brought the corruption in at the end, which you were able to destroy the corruption there, but probably not quite dead yet. Being that the first time you encountered the corruption, he was in statues. The second time you encountered him, he was in a tree. So you're not quite sure how to actually kill him just yet, because apparently you've killed him twice already. So the flames card has to do with the corruption. So that may be a future adventure. The other card, 5 cards. I only have 3 in here that's not checked off. One of the cards that you did not collect was the idiot. You would have found him in, or you would have found this one in, it's a little crevice, Crataris in the Black Riage. It's on the eastern side of the Black Riage. It's between the Black Riage and the Ba'adunu Forest. You would have found it in Crataris. And you were able to possibly follow that path when you freed the slaves in Uxfin. One of them was an Illithid. And Crataris is where he went home to. He even told you such. And it was actually thrown in by Ilsanine, which is a god of the Illithid. Let's see. Those are the 3 cards that you did not come into contact with at all.
The Fool.
Yeah, the Fool and the Jester, the other 2.
Jester.
Oh, the Fool and the Gesture. Yeah, I scratched actually those. Fool and Gesture. I scratched those from my list of things that we were going to do because I couldn't come up with a really good reason for the Fool or the Gesture. Just because of how the deck of many things has the Fool and Gesture, I really couldn't I was like, I'll just leave those off my list. So the Fool and the Jester actually got a strike through them on my list. So you would have never encountered the Fool or the Jester. So does that answer your question?
Yep.
All right.
What about the visions?
Which ones?
From very, very early on in the catacombs when we got the sword that Kadeth carries.
You will have to refresh me on the visions because I don't think I wrote those down.
I got them.
But I'm sure all of them had to do with things to come.
Right there. The visions.
Because that was early.
Let me switch my glasses so I can read.
That was after you came from Garon. The first time you went to the Trenson estate. Yeah, I did not write them down in here.
Okay. Let's see. First one,
maybe
Forsyth. He was in a jail cell. He felt as though he had been there for a while and had grown older.
I did write them down.
And as he attempted to use his abilities to escape, he found that he was unable to do so.
Yes. These were visions that would have taken place had you and you just kind of never really explored these visions a whole lot. But these were visions meant to spur you forward. These were visions of things that would happen should you fail to succeed.
I think that probably I was the one who probably did the most with mine.
Yes. And yours was the closest one to being. Well, no, fixes actually kind of came true too. A little bit. It was pushed toward.
What
Close.
was Fix's? I don't remember.
You don't even remember. Fix had the vision of an orrery in shambles, unfixable. Gidna turned away from you and walked away.
Oh, it almost came true.
Almost came true. Evangeline, yours was the house that was on fire and a note in hand, or telling you of the fire at home and that there was nothing left.
And that no one survived.
And that no one survived, which almost came true. Cadets, yours was standing before your temple in rubbles, Erwin dead in your hands.
Oh yeah. That hasn't happened yet.
Thrice was attacked, but your temple was not put in ruins. And Forsyth was not even close to coming true in any way.
That's because he's very unpredictable.
You are rather unpredictable.
Every character I play is unpredictable.
Verification card.
Always curious about those.
Next question.
Was Phileathus always going to become an ally, or was that spurred on by Fix's actions?
That was spurred on by Fix's actions. I actually originally was like, no, Phileathus is gonna just wreck you guys at some point entirely. But because of the actions you took with Strolduck, because he and Phileathus both served Lyra, the actions you took with Strolduck changed Phileathus's trajectory.
I have to say, things definitely didn't go the way that I envisioned them back in our, one of our first adventures with the lizard guy who was part of the Jagged Dream.
That was
in Garan.
Garan, yeah.
The city
That's
of
where
the
the
missing.
kiss originated from, right?
Tell me, how did it change?
Honestly, I thought that the Jagged Dream was going to be something that we would have to fight and overcome in that regard, rather than absorb.
Yeah, you kind of just absorbed it, huh? It's a good way to put it.
Whatever happened to the doctorish?
What happened to the doctorish? The doctorish continued to go about Garan and several other places, mostly beyond the Steadfast. He doesn't hang out at the Steadfast that often, and continues to sell his wares.
Slipped through the guardrail.
Hey, he's a snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
how he makes his living.
Here, did you have any questions as to our thoughts, motives, visions? I thought, ideas or anything like that.
I don't know that I do, honestly, but I do have I do have one thing. Because sometimes, and I always just chuck it up to you guys not remembering from week to week, which it might be just that. You just don't remember from week to week. But when I give you something like a vision or a dream or fortune telling, a reading, things like that, how does that impact how you play your characters?
Depends on how well I remember it.
Not much at all.
If I remember it, it does, but if I don't, then no.
I think it impacts
That's the
my
thing. I never remember it.
because
Excuse
what
me.
was the fortune about that Giselle gave Evangeline?
It was about taking over the Jagged Dream, or not the Jagged Dream, the Order of Truth.
Truth.
You're gonna cut in and out if you keep rocking.
Yeah, I'm already having trouble hearing you.
I might put myself to sleep as well. I'm soothing myself.
Honestly, it all depends. If it is something where I feel like the character would have an inkling of what to do or how to address it, they would. If it is something that's interesting, I have nothing to act upon with it and no way to get more information. Okay, well that'll go on the back burner and we'll deal with this priority first. Very much a prioritization type situation. Like
Yep.
with the getting burning, walking around. It affected him. He had no clue what it meant. Couldn't do anything but move forward and hope for the best.
Hope for the best. And I know nothing like that affects your character, Senior, because you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
Well, spot on.
If Evangeline would actually pursue a third god,
Would she?
what would the GM do? What would be the GM's thoughts?
On the next god that you would pursue?
I don't know. I just
If it's
thought about
Velsharoon, you're gonna have family problems.
You're gonna, yeah.
not Velsharoon.
Don't cause a family rift.
What if she decided to seek after Gon?
Go for it.
This would be okay.
Yeah, Bix would talk to you about God all that you'd like, probably more than you'd like.
Probably more than I would like.
Yeah.
And that's something that Fix would probably do, is seek a better connection with God and a deeper relationship with God.
Yeah. You mentioned wanting to go back to the Forge. You would have had that opportunity, of course. Yeah. On that question of the visions and things of that nature, what did you the riddles that were given to you by Tatra,
Oh my gosh.
did they confuse more than they spawned thought or direction? Like, how did you feel about those?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
And all of column C.
Yes. Most of it was like, okay, Tatra, That's nice. We'll get you your medication.
I say about those things is that I am extremely happy that I play with Chuck and Senior because they're problem solvers. I mean, the puzzle solvers. I've been thinking about it for days.
Oh man.
I read into everything.
Yes. And I don't think you ever did get the City of Four Heads. Although you should know what the City of Four Heads is now.
But the one with the people who take over people.
No, Tatra said the next to fall is the City of Four Heads or something like that. And that was after the first attack on Thrice, but before the second attack on Key.
Is there 4 heads in Key?
There are 4 heads in Key.
I thought we discussed that. It was the government, the Order of Truth, the Order of Balance, and the Jagged Dream.
Those are the 4 heads.
Yeah, we did figure that one out.
Okay. I knew you guys talked about it, but I don't think you guys ever came to a solid conclusion.
We theorized that was what
You
it was.
theorized it.
We'll put it that way.
I theorized a lot of things. I don't know how much the other 3 of you know, but I theorized tons of stuff all through this whole campaign with Jody during the week when we would talk. And she would just sit and listen.
Now the question is how many ideas did you give her?
Probably a few.
Maybe a few.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
I know that like Chuck and I have discussed at Saturday like how the characters have grown and everything. How have you seen the characters grow from your perspective as the DM?
Well, let's see. I definitely saw Evangeline when we first started the campaign. Evangeline stuck very close to Seeker, who was sent there to protect her, and then Seeker left, and she had to find a new way to ensure her own safety, in essence, and began to actually reach out and become more a part of the group. And by the end, she was giving you a what for. There was none of this meek, timid Evangeline anymore.
You guys got to watch her grow up.
I saw Forsyth, even though Senior doesn't really, he likes to just do what he does and let the levels kind of develop his character more than anything. But I did see that as he played, he definitely went from a rapscallion street urchin to more of a let me take care of you guys, as opposed to I'm just in it for myself.
They needed the help.
It took a hot second to figure out that, okay, Forsyth doesn't need our help all the time. He's perfectly capable of taking care of that stuff out there. Like when we were at the orrery, one of the orreries. It's like, okay, Forsyth can take care of that and keep that at bay. Our main focus ought to be this orrery. Not necessarily to go out there and kill things with him and then come back and do it. Let him do that, because that's what he's good at.
Absolutely.
And it took a hot second for that to kind of sink in, because always you want to go, don't split the party. But
it never bothered him. It never bothered him if the party was split, because he knew everyone had a role his role was not that stuff. His role was keeping you guys from having to deal with that stuff.
Yep, there were several times Forsyth snuck off by himself and doing things and snooping around and spying and scouting and
And just plain having fun.
just plain having fun. Kadath at the beginning was definitely, like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just looking for this thing, and I saw him grow into more of a champion, even when he got frustrated about not being able to do any damage to this freaking creature until he pulled out his sword. Oh yeah, that's right. I am a champion of the Raven Queen. Let me use the Raven Queen sword. So he definitely stepped into the role of being a champion, and now he's got an awesome sword that he can't wait to use again. Fix, I saw you as a kind of a schoolboy almost in essence, really. Kind of like, I have this knowledge and I have this idea and these things. And as you went about the campaign, I saw, I mean, your character, the essence of your character didn't necessarily change, but your expression of that character changed. So it went from that, like, I just know these things and I'm gonna, we're gonna go explore this and I'll help you out with the best I can, to I know these things. Let me do this. So you definitely did a little bit more of a little less of the timid, I know these things and I'll just share this knowledge with you, to more or less, let me show you this knowledge and I will take charge of this, So that's how I saw Fix grow. And you actually, instead of being the youngest child, in essence, even though Dolrin is younger than you, the youngest child, to stepping up to the plate and saying, I'm gonna lead this. Nobody else is able to. I'm going to do this. Regardless of what others see.
Some of the most touching things in the campaign. The most, as the GM, what do you feel like were some of the more touching things in the campaign? Make your heart warm touching.
Make my heart warm touching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. As a GM who loves role play. I love role play. I like role play more than battle, as you can tell, anybody who's watched this campaign from beginning to end. We would go weeks without a battle, and I don't particularly like shopping episodes, so I avoid those if I can. And when you throw an important NPC in a store such as Shallow, some episodes just become shopping episodes because you want to talk to a certain NPC. I'm like, what did I do? I usually do it to myself. I can't help it. So, but I enjoyed revealing Shallow as a fae. I really enjoyed that, and the interaction with Shallow and you guys, and with Fix especially. And I also enjoyed sitting back, even though it was one of the first episodes. It was the first episode. I think it was the very first episode that we streamed, where you guys were getting together, and Forsyth and Kadath had this little battle. Like, Forsyth didn't want to be caught, didn't want to have to do these things, brought in kicking and screaming by Kadath because he was told, you need this person. And I enjoy that, and it can be tense, definitely, in a group where you have a little bit of player versus player, But knowing this group, it's not a problem. You guys are going to do it. It's for fun. It's for show. It's for story. You're not really out to kill each other. So, and I enjoy that. I also enjoyed the interaction when you guys first met the ancestors, and how you guys were discussing, you know, the morality almost of the ancestors coming in and it basically possessing people, but not really possessing them because they're very much can take back seat and let the person go. And I enjoyed the interaction between Evangeline and Fix in that and discussing that morality. So I really like the role play and you guys, sharing things among each other, discussing, what to do next, problem solving. What does this mean? The interaction of trying to figure out the city of four heads. I enjoy that interaction between my players as a GM.
What about anybody else? In here with all these men. I think that in the beginning with Evangeline, and I mean, Seeker was her person. You know, that's who she was traveling with. That was her person. And when he disappeared, and she was panicked because he was gone, and the comforting words that were spoken to calm her down. I thought that was a touching scenario. But my favorite was when Fix made Evangeline's tools and marked them. I loved it. Just loved it.
She will always be known as Elf.
And signing all the books, Fix and Elf.
Fix an Elf.
And he kept to it even up at the end. Like the maintenance rotation includes Evangeline. Like I too really enjoyed the ancestors discussion. I felt it was I felt it was a really good
I
point
thought
where oh, go ahead.
it was good.
Yeah. Point where like Fix and Evangeline realized like, hey, we're close. We work together. We're family. Things like that. But we can discuss things and disagree,
And disagree, and
and
it's okay.
yeah, I thought that was really good. Yeah, it was really nice.
I would like to visit the ancestors again. I want to know what's up with the ancestors.
Well, maintenance rotation, they're right there.
Yep.
They're right there. They hang out at one of the orreries. And Leoros actually will help take care of the orreries as well.
Because I actually feel like they didn't lie about anything, but I'm not so sure they were telling the complete truth. They weren't volunteering extra information.
They are the epitome of you can't handle the truth.
Because I get the feeling that the ancestors have been around longer than the gods.
Been around a very long time.
Press enter to
So.
enable the narrator.
And Evangeline being history and religion. That's a couple of her big things, history and religion. And she was very curious. I was very curious. Maybe a one shot.
Maybe a one shot. Oh, you're muted, dear.
I'm muted again. I don't know if I just forgot it, but or if you just never said it. I don't remember. But did you ever actually say what the Raven Queen's name was?
She did.
I did.
Oh.
I don't feel like I should say it again.
I
I feel
don't
like I
remember.
can't say it again. I'd have to look in my notebook. Starts with an S.
Sebius. I'm trying to remember.
I have to find it.
Stacy. Oh.
Stacy. No, she's Stacy's mom.
Sylvia.
Sylvia. I know what it looks like in my notes. That's why I'm just flipping through these pages. But I couldn't straight up tell you. Unfortunately, that, picture memory only lasts so long. When did you guys find out the name? Oh, there it is. Hold on.
I can tell you it was on a Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday of a
It was a
Tuesday.
Tuesday multiple months ago.
Unfortunately, I gave myself. Oh, there it is. It's Cernari. Cernari.
Okay.
Cernari. Cernari.
Okay.
Now,
And
is that actually a lore name or one that the DM gave?
As the one the DM gave. Honestly, I don't know if she has a lore name. I think nobody's ever really named her. She's nameless.
I don't know. It seems like to me I looked it up at some point, but I can't remember. So, another burning question. We never even checked. When we finished the battle, what happened with all of the orb and the onyx stone and the soul stone? And did anything ever happen with those?
Over time, you remember, oh yeah, they're there. The orb is quiet. You feel like there is definitely a resonance to it still, but it is quiet. The ring definitely still glows some massive power. The ruby also still has some power to it, but it has grown fairly quiet. It doesn't seem to speak to you anymore. What was the onyx stones? They just kind of.
Onyx was broken.
Yeah, it was broken. The magic on that has faded. The sword has been
the soul
all
stone. I
consumed.
had a soul stone. And
Yeah, that was the ruby.
Okay, that was the ruby. It kind of I passed off.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The magic is still on it, but it is quiet.
But it's quiet. Because I don't.
Oh, good.
I'm not. Evangeline is not carrying any of that. She has shards of the onyx, but that's it.
Who has the orb? I thought you had the orb.
Fix has it.
Fix has the orb and the ring.
The ring.
Or
the orb is
has
in a. No, Fix has both.
Okay.
The orb is in a bag of holding. The ring is in a sealed box of obtanium.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Completely sealed, and intends to destroy it in the forge of its making.
All right.
And might even try destroying the orb in that same forge.
Maybe. The orb definitely still glows magic. It is quiet. The ruby glows magic, the soul stone, but it is quiet. The ring, there's still magic.
And Evangeline, after the despoiler, I would have smelted that down.
Okay.
Because that's something nobody should have access to or be able to empower again. She would have smelted it down and gave it to Fix to forge something out of.
To forge something
Make something pretty.
Make something pretty.
He has been working on his jewelry crafting, so.
That's true. You have. Cybella wears the benefits of that. Any other
Oh,
questions? Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
the Lich.
Yes.
Is he still bouncing
Liching.
around out there somewhere?
As far as you know, you haven't gone looking for him. He's in the Ba Denu somewhere. At least that's what you believe.
Might have to take care of him one day.
Plenty of little threads to pull on for one shots.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty. Plenty, plenty.
Any other questions?
How's the what is it? The gold dragon?
Clastoon?
Yeah. He has his love back.
He does have his love back. Um, and it was one of those that they knew they were betrothed, but had never met, and they embraced it upon meeting, and have gone with it. When, of course, while they're in human form, they will have gotten married by the customs of.
Everybody's getting married.
They feel like they don't need to, but they're like, okay, by the customs of where Clastoon lives now, they went ahead and had a ceremony, and there may be baby dragons in the future.
Were they at the wedding? At the state wedding?
Sure, if you invited them, they would have come. They would have looked regal in their own right and caused some heads to turn because there's just something about them. They have that air of,
Je ne crois. Ah,
yeah,
that thing. That word.
yeah.
Evangeline would have kept an eye out on the knights. Checked in on them periodically. Are they behaving themselves under their new leadership?
Under their new leadership, they seem to be behaving themselves mighty fine. And they are ready, under the new leadership, to aid the Order of Truth as they see fit.
Seriously, that was a spur of the moment thing. I was like, "Ooh, what are we gonna do? I know what we'll do. There's dead bodies everywhere. Give me this sword."
I did enjoy that moment. Instead of just trying to talk your way out of this, it was like, okay, all right, we'll just make something up on the fly. I did enjoy that.
The character is chaotic neutral, so lying would not necessarily be out of the question. But
I mean, plenty of members of the Order of Truth have lied.
just about all of them.
Not all of them.
But it was so uncharacteristic for Evangeline at that moment. It was uncharacteristic for her to take charge and do something.
Yep.
Like that. And I was like, hopefully everybody goes along with it.
I think everybody was like, well, okay, let's ride this. Let's see where it goes.
Were there any moments that you got frustrated with?
Oh gosh.
Jody or me?
Yes.
What about rage quitting? I love this.
For anybody who saw that episode, I rage left the table.
I remember it happening. I don't remember why.
I got mad at myself.
Oh.
I wasn't catching it. I thought that that thing was absorbing force damage, not range damage. And so I was kept throwing range stuff at it, and I was getting frustrated. And when I realized what was going on, I got mad because I didn't catch it, and I was just like, ah! I came back.
As long as you come back, that is what's important.
The greatest part about where I was watching, she was here when that happened. So I'm watching this all take place, and I'm kind of losing it inside. A little piece of me is like, I hope she's not mad at me, but I was pretty sure she wasn't. So there's a little piece of me that was just kind of laughing. And when she got up, I heard the cabinet slam, and she's getting herself a drink. She was like, "Forget this, I'm gonna go get a drink." So I could hear her in the kitchen. It was funny.
Nice.
And again, technology. I don't know why I'm the one that has all the trouble with technology. But I was trying to play. I couldn't get my character sheet up. I was trying to have it on my phone. I can't see my phone. I was just having all kinds of troubles that night. That was just like too much.
Just icing on the cake. Like, forget this. Times of my frustration. There's sure I have frustrating moments. Mostly because like I plan something and it gets plowed over. That's kind of that's the life of a GM. But even in those moments, I don't think I get frustrated really. Simply because I take from that and I try to learn and I try to grow from it. I've been GMing regularly on Tuesday nights for what did we calculate? 8 years?
8 years,
Something like
a
that.
long time.
Every Tuesday night for 8 years. That's a long time. And so
Actually, I think it's longer than that.
you think
I
so?
think it is.
Yeah, because I was living down on the Gold Coast when we started,
Yeah.
and that was 10 years ago.
Okay, so every Tuesday night I've been GMing a game for the last 10 years. And so I try in all of those moments to take something from it and learn and grow and implement. And, sometimes I'm just a slow learner, but it just, so I don't think I really get frustrated per se. I mean, there might be a moment that's like, oh crap, now I gotta, because I'll have this huge thing planned out, and as all GMs do, your players take a left in Albuquerque, and
I
it's
used
like,
to live
well,
there.
I just okay, I'll just throw those notes out the window, put them on back burner, whatever. I don't know. We'll make it up as we go. Let's go. Like, okay. Like, I mean, there are those moments, but I wouldn't call them frustrating. They might be frustrating to other people, but they're not really frustrating to me.
The very first question out of her mouth every Wednesday when she calls, how do you think
How
last
do you
night
think it
went?
went? How do you think it went? I ask Rhonda every Wednesday, how do you think it went? And I ask Joe and Chuck, and I don't usually ask Senior unless he talks to me about something, but he's off doing his own thing. And he's in a totally different
I'm doing nothing.
he's in a totally different sphere of the world. So, if I were to talk to him, I'm probably keeping him up at night. Who knows? But
You're not only on the other side of the world this way, you're also on the other side of the world this way.
Yeah. The opposite quarter.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I ask every Wednesday, like, how did you think it went? And I'll listen, I'll take pointers. Oh, that battle went too fast, or oh, this person probably should have been more powerful, or oh, this, I liked how this went, or I liked this, and oh, I wish we had more time for this, and things like that. And I'm like, I try to adjust and finagle my games that way. I hope that answers your question, Joe. Are there moments that you guys find frustrating?
Only when playing.
When you rage quit?
I've never rage quit.
Rhonda has. And it's recorded for all to see.
For all of
I don't think
posterity.
I've had any moments where I've gotten frustrated. I think like there's puzzles and little things trying to figure them out, but I'd never gotten frustrated. It's more like, okay, digging into the puzzle or digging into the clues or trying to get somewhere and things like that. So, no.
Probably for me, the most frustrating thing, though, it was outside of electronics and stupidity on my part. Is sometimes when we get into battle and I lean over and look at my clock and go, it's going to be a long night.
I can't help it. You're on the other side of the states.
We
And it's,
tried to
I'm
You
get
the
you to
only
move
moved.
person that
here.
plays like at night.
We tried to get you to move here, but no.
Oy.
uh,
Fun. I think
Rents are
the
too
most
expensive there.
frustrating thing
Right?
in this whole campaign was when I've spent the last I don't know how many years being told, "Don't do Shadowrun. You won't like Shadowrun, Rhonda." And then they're going, "Oh, let's do Shadowrun the next time."
That
Don't
is
look at me.
Do.
that is totally my fault. I will take the blame for this. This is totally my fault. Okay, so we're segueing here. Our next campaign is going to take place in the system of Shadowrun. We're going to be running in Seattle 2075 ish. Um, and and no, I will not get all the lore right. So all of you diehard Shadowrun fans that will be frustrated because I don't get the right name for the right CEO or whatever, I'm sorry. I'm just going to tell you that straight up because it's probably not going to happen.
They're
Now,
unwritten.
That
yeah,
doesn't mean you can't input
right,
as
but
And
fans.
even if she gets
exactly.
it right in week 3, in week 17, she will change it
Change
to
it.
a different name.
Feel
So,
free to put in the comments what people's names actually are.
yeah, feel free. Whether I follow it or not, but feel free. Now,
It's a It's a shadow.
it's a shadow. Exactly.
Uh,
Now, so when we were starting to talk, okay, well, what are we going to do next? Like, we ran this game we're going on 2.5 years. And so about the 2-year mark, we were like, well, what would we do next? And I started looking at all kinds of systems and reading through things. I was like, we could stick to D&D 5e. I was like, I want to stay in 2014 because that's what we have. As you can see behind Rhonda, she has a whole plethora. That's what we have access to. We don't want to have to go out and buy a bunch of books. So, I was like, if we stay in D&D, I'll stay in 2014, but we were all kind of like, well, why don't we try some new things? And I was like, I'll try my hand at something new. So I started looking at all kinds of stuff. And to be fair, I looked at Old Gods of Appalachia. I looked at Candela Obscura. I looked at Anime 5e. I looked at um, I looked at Inspire Isles. I looked at lots of 2D20 stuff like Call of Cthulhu, Star Trek, um, Eris, one that a friend of ours put together in 2D20. Looked at Eris. Looked at a lot of different things. I looked at Vampire, and all this time that I was looking at all of these other things, I'm like, could I come up with a good story? I was like, would I be able to come up with a good story that's going to be a good long campaign? The answer is no to all of them, honestly. I probably all of them would end up being episodic. And I was like, well, if I'm going to end up being episodic, I know Chuck would love to play in Shadowrun again. I know Joe would enjoy playing in Shadowrun.
and it
Not
didn't
too
matter
sure.
what I want.
Wasn't too sure about Senior. He played with us before in another game years ago that we played Shadowrun, and I knew that was fairly new experience for Senior, and thought, well, Senior's pretty open to learning new things. We'll go with this.
I am.
Well, you have been before. You're going to be now, whether you want to or
Yes,
not.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And so I was thinking about this, and I was like, okay, well, let me just read. So I pulled up the Shadowrun 5e book on my iPad, and I just started kind of reading through it. Actually, no, I think I started reading Shadowrun 4th edition because we have a hardcover of. and I started kind of flipping through it and whatnot. And I was like, well, we did play in 5th edition mostly. It was kind of a crossover 5th, 6th edition, but it was mostly 5th edition. And so I started reading the book, and at some point we sat down and I was like, well, and we were all together, and I was like, well, I have been reading Shadowrun. And of course, Chuck and Joe totally jumped on that. It's like, oh, Shadowrun? All right. So, and Rhonda, of course, is like, isn't that the system you told me to completely avoid and never try? Like, well, yeah, we're going to hit your learning curve here.
Okay.
Fair warning to all of those watching: if you join us in Shadowrun, not only will names and stuff maybe not be accurate, we're probably going to mess up on the system too. A
Yeah,
lot.
probably.
A lot.
There'll be
You might
lots
be able
of
to help us
pauses
there.
where I stop and say, Chuck, I don't know what I'm doing. What do I need to look at?
Oh my goodness. So we're going to try our hand at Shadowrun. I do have a story that's being worked out based on some backgrounds that I have received and whatnot. So I have a longer term story that I'm going to be working on. And also Shadowrun, hopefully it's going to be a little bit more episodic because the concept behind Shadowrun is that you are runners and you do missions for whoever hires you, which is usually a Mr. Johnson. So, so you get hired.
We'll have to come up with new names.
Right. Yeah, it's always a Mr. Johnson. And so you get hired on by a Mr. Johnson, your team of runners, to go and do this mission and report back to Mr. Johnson and get paid. That is the premise of a runner. And so, amid all of that, there will be story weave, there will be character development, there will be character backgrounds, some goals, aspirations of the individual characters that they will want to achieve, and hopefully they will help each other achieve it. And, so cross our fingers, 1 or 2 sessions each mission, probably 2 sessions each mission, but these characters are going to continue onward in their own lives and try to figure out their own paths and achieve their own goals. So that's the hope. So we'll see how long I can make it last, or we might get 3 months in and be like, okay, yeah, this isn't working, and we might change. I don't know. We'll see.
We're going to play because I spent 3 months developing a character because I didn't have any idea what I was doing.
By golly, she is playing this character whether you like it or not.
Well, in the event that it doesn't work out, we're going to be doing anime. Is that what you said?
I do have an anime 5e book.
That is a possibility.
It is a possibility. Just for proof.
No.
Oh, it could be a lot of fun, actually.
No, it is not.
I got one of those right
Yeah,
there.
Rhonda has one too. But yes.
I think that would be amusing either way. I'm really looking forward to
I
Shadowrun,
have
but
actually ran
I
a
also have
one-shot with characters developed in the anime 5e.
I can also run
And
Star Wars.
it was pretty fun. It was pretty good. I have one character. I don't think I built it quite right because it was a little OP. Actually, it was a lot of OP.
Yeah.
But the first time somebody played it, that character, that didn't happen. But the second time somebody played it and actually read it and
And utilized its abilities.
utilized its abilities.
It's a little OP.
But
Yeah.
I've done that
Yeah.
before.
It's amazing what happens when you use the mechanics.
So we're trying
But yeah.
something different.
So we're trying something different.
And then if
Shadowrun.
everybody who's following and watching us and stuff doesn't like it, tell us, and we'll go back to Dungeons and Dragons if you want us to.
Rhonda's preferred genre is fantasy, in case you haven't figured that out.
Well, hey, Ron, this is sci-fantasy, so
it is sci-fantasy. Shadowrun
there's
is
orcs
sci-fantasy.
and trolls and elves and dwarves and magic.
Gamma World would have been fun.
I haven't read Gamma World. I haven't done anything in Gamma World.
Gamma World is came out in the 70s or 80s. 80s. It's post-apocalyptic.
Okay.
So some of the creatures are going to be pure string humans. Some are going to be mutated, and some are going to be actually animals with speech. So it's and you'll find old tech and new tech.
All right.
So and radiation spots and things like that. So it's fun.
If Jody could come up with enough things for it,
I guarantee she could for that.
no, I mean, for another one, Star Trek Adventures or Achtung Cthulhu, either one.
Starfleet, yes, what is it? Star Frontiers.
Yeah.
Star Frontiers.
I've actually run that before, back in the 80s. But I play it currently.
Yeah. Yeah. So I looked at a lot of different things, and I tried to take into consideration what you guys would like to play as well. You know, I know Rhonda's into fantasy, and so I didn't want to completely jump her over into, you know, something that she's totally like, I have to do what? Although Shadowrun is a push for her, but we're going to see how it works.
How many dice? What?
But it's
43.
This is crazy.
But yeah. So yeah, and then there's lots of genres that I could run, but
That's okay because my character bought a boat.
that's true.
He's got a lot of vehicles.
Can he drive them though?
Yes, actually he
Okay.
can. Motorcycles, boats, cars, airplane. He can do helicopters.
He can pilot.
What is the Discord? Oh, Daggerheart. Yeah. What? If somebody's asking, what is our Discord? Is our Discord up and open for people to join?
It is. People can join it. It is not fully curated yet.
It is, yeah, it is not fully curated. There are definitely open channels for you to chat. It is not fully curated. It is Dungeons and Dad Jokes.
I will post a invitation link in the admin talk, Rhonda, if you could give it to them, because I don't know that I'm in that server.
Admin talk.
Yep. Give me one moment.
In which server?
I will put it in
YouTube.
our server. Oh. Was that where the question was?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Shove it into YouTube.
The question is on YouTube.
Oh.
Questions on YouTube. So
gotcha.
On the YouTube. Yeah.
We can
I
post a link in a minute on YouTube.
Yeah,
there it is.
There it is.
There you go. All right. So yeah.
And AS.
Daggerheart.
Also,
Daggerheart's an interesting one.
What about Daggerheart?
Daggerheart, because it was still in beta when I was deciding, and it doesn't even fully release until later this year, right?
No, I think it just released.
Oh, it just released. I was thinking it didn't fully release until like September of this year.
I'm not positive. I could be
so because it is so new and it was still in beta, and I wasn't real sure about release dates or when exactly we would finish this campaign and have enough time to read it. It's what? Amber asked. But I wouldn't have had enough time to read it to prepare for another campaign, so I stuck with things that were already present. Not to say we might not try Daggerheart in the future, or for a one shot or something, depending on who's got the book.
It actually is one of the system core rule books that I have.
Okay. So all right. So Rhonda has access to that core rule book, so she might read it through and see if maybe running a one shot in it. someday.
I've got a
The
couple.
next time you're missing.
I've got a couple of things that I've gotten access to that we just need to I need to read and move along.
Yeah.
A couple of these, like the well, I think that the Candela Obscura, the Old Gods, those would, to do a long campaign with those would be hard, but to do short campaigns like
4
between,
weeks or whatever.
yeah, that would work. And I also got I always say it wrong, Vassin.
I've heard it Vesson and Vassin. So I think it depends on which part of the world you're from.
Into that. So
Yeah,
But-
Vassin looks really cool. So
And-
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, who knows? This could evolve to where we sample different systems.
Maybe.
And see what we can screw up.
That's always the fun of it.
We're pretty good at that. I'm pretty sure diehard rule followers, you can attest to this, Joe. During our 2.5-year campaign, I'm sure that I screwed up rules and just was like, hey, we're going to go with this. Because you know the rules just as well, if not better than I do.
I think that what has made it very enjoyable for me as somebody who is more into the rules side of it a lot of times is that there's no fighting over the rules. You will take, if somebody knows the rules, you'll take it and run with it. If nobody does and it just needs to be, decided upon, it's okay, we'll go with this for now and we'll come back to it later. And there's no begrudging about it or, animosity about it.
Yeah.
It's way back to the same old adage from the very beginning. We're here to have fun. And we're here to share that fun.
When's that start?
Those of you watch.
When does that start? Boy, Forsyth missed the train 2.5 years ago. Senior. I'm still calling him Forsyth. That's what I see.
Probably the most fun character I've ever played. Between that and Lysander, right?
Lysander was a good character. Talk about frustrating. Lysander, Joe, you would appreciate this. When we first started playing on Tuesday nights, it was Senior, Chuck, Rhonda, and one of Rhonda's sons. And they were in a group. We were running around the world of Tal'Dorei. And yeah, it was crazy. But talk about frustrating. Forsyth Senior with Lysander can talk his way out of a paper box. I was like, well, how do I combat this? Like, I don't.
It's a dwarven fighter. She has this huge fight lined up for us.
I did.
And suddenly, Lysander comes to terms with them, favorable to us, where
litigation.
there's no fight at all.
And if we did happen to get in a fight with something, it swallowed Chuck.
Only if it was a purple worm. It was only the worms that swallowed me.
More than once.
Oh goodness. But yeah, no.
I'm gonna have to resurrect Cade one of these days. The litigating bard.
The litigating bard. that was fun.
I think we should do a party of bards or a party of clerics. Just we totally across the board.
Give it a go.
That would be too much fun. A very pointed adventure, but the whole thing would be just hilarious.
Well, Gertie could run the druids of the carnivorous forest adult style.
Adult style, I could. Everybody plays druids. Oh man.
Well, yeah. You know what my druids are like.
Yeah, right. Falling out of the skies as woolly mammoths, apparently.
Yeah. It worked.
What fun is it being a druid if you're going to actually be a flying creature in the air?
Well, you fly up, you change into a
You
mammoth,
change.
and you fall down on top of them.
Logic. It's all logic. Oh goodness me. All right. But yes, so it was an actual probably 2 or 3 month process of me going through systems to decide that, like, you know what, let me read Shadowrun, let me look at it seriously and actually give it a try, to really look at it, and instead of just being like, I don't even, it's a headache, because it is a headache. But it is a fun world, so I don't know, we'll see what I can do with it, and hopefully you all enjoy it, even though it can be frustrating because there's following all of the rules can actually cause the system to bog down. So we're gonna kind of play that by ear and see what we can do, because I
We,
don't
the
want to
players,
spend.
are okay.
I was gonna say, because I don't want to spend 15 minutes trying to decide if Rhonda hit something. Like I don't want that to be.
It's one thing for certain, Rhonda's not gonna know.
Like that could
Reading the
really
section
bog
of the
down
book I built
playtime.
the character had me pulling my hair out.
And I know we'll get faster the further we go and the more comfortable we become with everything. I know we'll get faster at it, but yeah, if 2 months down the road we're still taking 15 minutes to determine if Rhonda hit something, we might have a problem.
You might have
Well,
to bend
I
the
will
rules.
say, we the players have been tasked with developing our own flow sheets so that we make it easier on Jody.
Yes.
Somebody
Yes.
I
has
wouldn't
to
know how to do that. So
somebody has to help me develop
Yes.
a flow sheet
Yeah.
because I would not know where to start.
Yours
Yeah.
will be easy, Rhonda. That's why we encouraged you to play a Street Sam. Because yours is literally, this is what you do to attack, this is what you do to defend. Like there's no, oh, if you cast this spell, then do this. But if you cast this spell, then do this. But if you cast
I
this
just
spell, do that. No,
just drive
there's none of
away.
that.
I
Yeah,
know
I
last
just
time
drive.
I got done,
Senior will just leave
everything I
everybody.
wanted into my character, I had so much money left over. Alex came in here and said, "Here, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this." Okay, I
I
don't
don't
know what
shoot.
all of this does, but okay.
I don't shoot you. I just have a robot do that.
Yeah.
A
I
drone.
shoot you,
Yeah, Senior will go sit off in
and
a
if I
corner
don't
somewhere.
shoot you, I stab you.
So,
Oh man.
but yeah, so that's what we're gonna try.
It'll be
So
fun,
those of you
maybe.
who are watching who are D&D fans, stick with us, because you could learn a new system right along with us. And to be perfectly honest, all of the things that I do as a GM or as a DM for D&D, I will do very similar things as a GM, or I don't even know what Shadowrun calls it, a narrator, Mr. Johnson, whatever, for Shadowrun, because
can
I
hang
like
in
role
with it.
play.
You guys can hang in with us too.
Yeah, y'all just stick with us. Maybe you can learn a new system, and those of you who know Shadowrun, maybe you can help us out.
And you never
The
know when
door.
we'll revisit D&D.
Oh yeah, and when we do little one shots and stuff like that, it'll probably always fall back into D&D, because that's, unless Senior or Chuck or Joe wants to step up and do something else, because Rhonda and I are most comfortable in D&D and can pull a one shot out literally off of our shelf and go. So
The problem is if I was to run something, it would
Literally,
be
I just pull it
it
off
would
the shelf.
literally,
it would not be D&D, and we'd have to learn. I'd have to teach people how to play it.
yep,
Yeah, if I
That's why I
run
like
something that
Star.
isn't D&D, it's going to be easy.
yeah,
That's why I like Star Frontiers. It's all D10, D100 based,
hmm
Yeah.
and it's all percentage based. So
yeah. That's
it's
I
that's
find
it's actually very easy to play.
yeah,
I find the dice part are easy for most games. It's the how many actions do you have? What can you do? What can you not do?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
options do you have? That is what is difficult to
that,
teach.
Well, most of that's actually defined in the books.
right.
Right, but it
But
still
for
needs
a
to be
So
one
taught.
shot,
For
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
shot.
For
You
one
don't want
shot,
people
you don't
having
want to
to read the
task your players to. You gotta
Learn the
you gotta
books.
learn the system. You know, you
Right.
want them to already kind of know the system, or at
In
least have
reality,
a
the
general
books aren't
idea
that
of it,
thick.
Or something that's really
Yeah.
easy to teach, like 2D20.
or something really easy
I
to
mean,
teach.
Shadowrun, the problem for me is the books are so
Disorganized,
convoluted.
poorly
Yeah.
written,
They are convoluted.
Dense.
convoluted.
That's I
Organized.
I love
That's
the way
word that I've been looking for, because I have to go from here to here and back to here
Yeah.
and over
Mhm.
there and
Yeah.
over there.
I love the
this
way
system, and it
E-
is so poorly written.
I love the way EGG designed the first AD&D book, because
I
it
don't.
defines everything so well and in an order that makes sense.
Yeah, but then they decided to do THACO, which is weird and doesn't make any sense.
I'll tell you what, being somebody who started,
THACO makes sense in a way.
it didn't
Just
bother me.
no,
But it's like, oh, this is pretty
It took me
easy.
a while to really understand it.
I can't do that.
it's just
It was
what does
easy
it
to
take to hit?
understand, but
What does it take to hit armor class?
0. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Armor
but
class 0.
the modern way to do it is
It's
so
like,
much easier.
Just tell me what number I
Well,
need to hit. Okay.
yeah, it is, but it's actually the same thing.
It
It
is.
is,
It is the
But
same.
it's easier for somebody new to understand with very
Especially
little
somebody
Right.
explanation
What your
Yeah.
plus
instead
is
of a
versus
lot of explanation.
Mhm.
what are you going against? Well, that's the whole thing. It's just pluses and minuses,
just-
but
Yeah.
What'd you roll?
like-
Is it higher than this? Great, you hit
Great.
yeah, yeah.
So.
Well, that's exactly what it is when you do it in the modern system.
Yep.
It's what do you roll? What did you roll? What was their AC?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I just took the easy way out when I played AD&D. I just got to a point where my character could hit anything except for rolling a 1. You know what?
Right.
It don't matter.
I get you
Wait,
there.
wait. You do that. You used to do that for AD&D. Don't you do that now?
Where do you think he learned it?
Some things just never change.
To be fair, that character was effective level like 40.
Oh,
So
jeez.
Yeah.
One thing,
I played
I
with
have
back in the day, I did not like playing a cleric.
Yeah.
Why?
my
It was way too easy.
my current. I have a couple ADD characters going right now, but my favorite is basically a mirror of my very first ever ADD character. That is a bard.
Oh, yeah.
My very
But
first
under
one
it-
was an assassin.
But an ADD bard is so hard to get in the first place, because you have to roll. The lowest you can roll is an 11. You have to have 4 15s. So yeah, he's quite a character, but he's right now a 5th level fighter. So he only fights as a fighter. But when he reaches 7th level, he suddenly becomes a thief for 8 levels, and then he becomes a bard, which is a druid.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
So, limited druid, but still fights as a fighter, steals as a thief.
Yeah, we played it when I played it was the split classing. You
Oh,
split your
yeah.
experience between each class.
Oh,
Everything.
yeah.
And it was he was a fighter, cleric, thief,
Yeah.
and it was always fun to teleport behind something, grab them, cast harm on them, and then stab them.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Back
yeah.
when harm was roll a d4, that's how many hit points you have left.
Nice. That's nice. That's handy. I can kind of glad that's not around anymore. Because I would have experienced that. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I was like, oh, we lost Chuck. All right.
He's
Well,
not all there.
any more questions? We're gonna wrap up here. It's 9:30. All right.
But I do want to say, sorry, I do want to say thanks to all the watchers and the people that have joined us in all these nights through this campaign, and hope to see you in our next one.
Indeed.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And previews of our graphics and stuff, previews of the upcoming campaign. It's on our website now, so
Yep.
you can
I
check
should
it out
probably
on
go
the
look at that.
website. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
dndadjokes.com.
Dungeonsanddadjokes.com. Check it out. In our about, if you hover over about, it'll drop down and you'll see where our campaigns are, because you have about us and then our campaigns. When you hover under our campaigns, you're going to see the Gods Challenge, where you can go and kind of hover on that and explore that, read the town criers, find out what this whole 2.5-year campaign was all about. You know, all of our town criers have links to the YouTube videos. So, you know, check those out. Or you can just watch all the YouTube videos if you really want to, but that's on you. You can also see our new campaign, which is entitled Dark Allies, Shadows of Honor. I almost screwed that up. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready. Dark Allies, Shadows of Honor, where you can hover into there. Our Meet the Characters is still in development because I'm still collecting background stories, and we are generating. As much as I love to support our creative communities, we are using AI generation for some of our images at the moment until we can get our images created by an artist, a creative artist. So bear with. So there are going to be some AI generated artwork in there eventually to hold places until we can get our graphics designed by an artist. Maybe by the one that created our last ones, but I don't know. We'll see if he can do the style or not. And so check that out. The Meet the Characters will come up eventually, but we do already have the first hot sheet in there. You're welcome to check that out and read that through. It is all fake news that I have generated, and oh my gosh,
You
that's
can truly meet the characters on June 17th.
June 17th. So sorry. I'm hearing ka-ding, ka-ding, ka-ding. Okay. Our
While we're
Discord.
clearing up some things.
I know, right? So check out our website, dndadjokes.com. You can get a jump start and read some of the hot sheets. The hot sheet hopefully is going to come out at least prior to each mission, maybe not prior to each session, but hopefully prior to each mission, because like I said, it might take 2 sessions to do a mission. I'm not going to do a separate hot sheet if we're in the middle of a session. Or in the middle of a mission, I'm not going to do another hot sheet. So keep an eye out for that. The hot sheets will come out. Some of them will have just things that's happening in Seattle around when our characters are exploring Seattle. Sometimes an article might be about them. We don't know. I don't plan on doing any kind of town crier or summary with this, simply because that's a lot of work. After 2.5 years of doing it for every week, it's a lot of work. So we'll recap at the beginning of each session what's happened last time. Hopefully my players will do this recap because it will be easier on me if my players take over that responsibility. We'll see what happens. So yeah, we're going to begin this adventure on June 17th. So be sure to check us out June 17th. And we are
This
taking a 2-week
misadventure.
break. So this misadventure, indeed. So be sure to also check out our other social medias. The links are in the YouTube as well as on our website. We're not as active on those, but check those out all the same. And be sure to like, subscribe,
As soon as
hit the
somebody
share.
figures out how to get me videos, we'll get a whole lot more active on TikTok.
Yeah.
I thought you guys figured that out.
Well, I got them in wide. I don't have them in portrait. Like, so it always cuts out like the sides. So
It is my portrait wide.
I can't figure it out. I need somebody under the age of 14.
Maybe go get my granddaughter who thinks my Discord. After I
Maybe.
tried for a week, she got it in 5 seconds.
Always have Ian try it.
Ian's too busy.
Ian's really busy these days.
So, we'll see.
He's got band tours coming up that he's getting ready for.
Yeah. Although I mean, it is a thought that we have tossed around, or that Rhonda and I have tossed around. I haven't talked to the rest of you, but about maybe doing a little video recording of some of my GM corners and throwing those
You
out
want to know
there.
you want to know something hilarious?
What's that?
I was actually going to suggest that after we go off air.
That's funny. Great minds think alike.
And you guys
Rules
do okay.
rarely differ.
Thanks a lot, Senior. All right. Well, we're going to call it an evening for tonight. If you have a burning question that you just want answered, go to our website and click on the contact us and email us that question. And, you know, if we get questions, maybe we'll answer them during our live stream. So I'm going to call it an evening.
If we could remember to do videos and pictures this weekend from Chicago, for those of you who can't make it, we'll try to post some stuff.
We'll try.
I can't make it.
I suck at that stuff. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I'm not in charge of that stuff.
I can't work the website from my travel devices, but I can get on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook.
Just start a GoFundMe for me to go to all these trips.
I know, right?
And Rhonda, if you want on TikTok or whatnot to just go live and record something while you're there, straight to TikTok.
Yeah.
That's an option.
Yep, that is an
idea.
option. So, all right. So I'm going to call it an evening. Thank you for sticking with us. We did run over time because we were chatting about some things. So you got to hear some of our chats. And be sure to like, subscribe, turn on the notifications so you know when we're live next, which will be June 17th, starting our new campaign, Dark Allies, Shadows of Honor. And hopefully join us because you'll get to learn a system right along with us. It'll be great.
I'll be looking like this the whole time.
So, all right. Check out our website. Keep up to date on where we're going to be, dndatjokes.com, and read those hot sheets. Then you kind of know what's going on in the world. All right. I think that's it. I think I'm done. I think I'm just filling space at this point.
All right, everyone. Have a great night. Catch you later.